What up, what up? This is Coach Liebs bringing you episode 51 of Coach Talk. It's Friday evening, about 2 hours before game time here at Bosco Prep. We're taking on Gonzaga College High School, a really good program out of Washington, D.C., a team we lost to down in D.C. last year, so we're hoping to get some revenge. Like I explained to you guys on Monday, we're coming off a tough loss against St. John Bosco, who was the number 4 team in the country out in California last week. And my message for this week, what I really want to talk to you guys about is really about leadership. And this was my big message to the players this week was, even though we lost to a team that was better than us, that was more talented than us. And although our execution wasn't as good as it could be, and I wish we had played better and executed better, and then could have seen the results of us playing our best game, I think it would have been a different result and a much more competitive game had we executed at our best. That wasn't what I was most disappointed in. What I was most disappointed in was the leadership from our seniors and the leadership from our best players. And of course, leadership in general on any football team starts with your quarterback. So I had a lot of conversations this week with our starting quarterback about leadership and just kind of some of the things I've learned during my coaching career. I was a quarterback in college and in high school as well. So I've been in that position of leadership where I'm leading the team and everyone's looking up to you. And I understand, how difficult it can be for some guys, especially if that's not your natural personality to lead guys and rally the troops and all that. So the quote that I gave my guys and really hammered home with the quarterbacks this week was, leadership is uncomfortable and confrontational all the time. Okay, this is a quote that Ben McDaniels, who's Josh McDaniels' younger brother, the offensive coordinator for the Patriots. I worked for his younger brother at Rutgers. Ben, the guy I worked for, is now the quarterback's coach at Michigan. And it's the best quote on leadership that I've ever heard. Leadership is uncomfortable and confrontational all the time, right? I think some guys have this disillusion that I'm a leader if I just go out and work hard. And yeah, there's such thing as leading by example, but that's not what we need. That's not the teams need someone who's going to take the bull by the horns, and they're going to demand more from their teams with words, with conversations, with confrontation. And doing that is uncomfortable, especially when you're a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid. These are your boys, these are your friends. It's hard to break out of that, friend, homie type of mode to now being a grown-ass man and taking this guy by his neck and saying, hey, I need more from you. I need you to give me more. I need you to play harder. I need you to be more focused, and demanding that from them. And so that's what I've been talking to my guy about all the time this week. Our quarterbacks, our senior leaders, especially we have our starting skill guys. We have between the 2 running backs, 3 receivers, and the quarterback are all seniors. Right? We had 6 starting seniors on our skill positions, all the guys that I coach. So it's really there's no excuse for them not being leaders. But what they have to understand is it's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel comfortable. It's not fun. Even as a coach, I tell them all the time, coaching kind of sucks in that way. I don't enjoy coming to practice every single day and being angry and yelling at them and demanding more from them. I like being a happy, easygoing guy, but I know that being happy and easygoing at practice when I need them to play harder isn't going to get the job done. So I have to come and I have to get my mind in a mode where I'm a little bit pissed off. I have a little bit of the edge to me, so I bring that to them on practice, and I demand more, and I'm fiery, and I'm energetic. But it's a process for me as a coach. Every single day, I take 10 minutes to myself, and I get my mind right, and I get ready to lead these guys and to demand more from them and to push them past their breaking point. The essence of my job as a coach is to take them places they don't want to go, right? They're these kids that think they want to play hard, they think they want to do a good job, but I have to take them even past those limits. They all set perceived limits for themselves. I have to push them past those limits and keep pushing those limits. And I think that's something that the best teams I've ever been a part of and the teams that win championships, that doesn't just come from the coaches, it comes from the players. And I think it has to come from the players to win a championship. I don't think you can have that leadership only come from the coaches and think you're going to win a championship in the end, because, when the lights turn on, the coaches aren't out there. We have very little control over the game when the lights turn on as coaches. So we need that leadership from players. So again, just if you guys want to write this down, I think it's a great quote, something that's always stuck with me. Leadership is uncomfortable and confrontational all the time. So now every day before practice this week, I went to our starting quarterback and I just looked at him and I said, what am I going to say to you? And he said, be uncomfortable. Every day. He knew it. He knew what I was saying. Be uncomfortable as a leader. Push yourself to feel uncomfortable. Lead them so hard or wrap your arms around these guys so much or demand so much from them or talk to them in such a firm voice that it feels uncomfortable for you. And if you find yourself feeling uncomfortable as a leader every day during practice, that means you're growing. And if you as the starting quarterback are growing, if us as the 6 seniors that are leading our offense are growing and feeling uncomfortable because of demanding more from everyone else, that means we're growing as a team. So that's just really my message for the week is leadership. And I think the thing with like coaching leadership, right, is very interesting as a coach. Coaching leadership, a lot of guys will look at their older players and be like, hey, you need to be a better leader. hey, be a leader. Hey, like all these vague things. Like the kids obviously, like most kids want to be a leader. They want to lead. They just have no idea how to lead. So you have to give them something very tangible, right? Something to grab onto, something very specific they can do that will translate into better leadership. And what I gave my guys this week was again, for feeling uncomfortable, right? Like putting yourself out there, saying some things, doing some things that make you feel uncomfortable as a leader, but your intent with those actions and those words is to demand more from your guys and bring your guys to a higher level. And I thought that was a very tangible thing that stuck with our quarterback. And he was much better this week. And, it's a process that's going to continue throughout the season. But he certainly, was focused every day about feeling uncomfortable. And I could see him getting on his guys more in people's ears more and talking to them positively, keeping them going. And it was nice to see. And he opened up to me even. He was like, hey, coach, like, just so you know, like, this isn't me. Like, I became a quarterback in middle school, and I was thrust into this leadership role. But to be honest with you, it's not really something I'm comfortable with. And this is what he told me. He's like, I'm a pretty introverted guy. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. And it's not my natural state to demand more from these guys and grab them by the neck and make them ride with me and make them play harder. He's like, so just so you know, I'm working at it every day, but it's very uncomfortable for me. And it was cool to hear that honesty from him. And this is a work in progress. And especially, if you guys don't know, this elite, big North Jersey super conference with all the Catholic schools, with Don Bosco, Bergen Catholic, St. Joe's, St. Peter's, Paramus Catholic, all these schools, everybody makes the playoff in these leagues. So even if we were to go 0-9, we're still going to make the playoffs. So in a league that's structured that way, you don't need to be in a rush, right? Like you just have to be playing your best football and be at your best point at the end of the season. Like you can slowly build this thing up. So I think that's how I'm approaching this with leadership is let's slowly just get better. Let's slowly do more and more and more to become better leaders and bring these guys along with us and keep raising our level of play. So again, just to recap, leadership is uncomfortable and confrontational all the time. And the confrontational part's important too, because like to be a leader, at some point you have to confront somebody. Like inherently, your job as a leader is to force somebody to do something that they don't want to do. So that is going to inherently lead to confrontation, where at some point, somebody's going to be trying to half-ass it, and you have to say, no, that's not good enough, I need more. That's a confrontation. And you have to be willing to accept that's part of the job, and you have to embrace that part of the job, and just put yourself out there in these confrontational spots until it becomes comfortable. Like when I was a young coach, when I was a really young coach, a year, 2 years out of college, I wasn't comfortable yelling at guys or holding them accountable or demanding more from them. I was a little kid, and they were practically the same age as me when I was at Rutgers. But now, I'm 28 years old. I've been coaching 7, 8, 9 years. And now I'm much more comfortable with it. Not because, again, I enjoy getting after guys or I enjoy yelling at people, but because I understand that they need to have it, that they need it to play at their best. And I think that's very important to understand that as a leader, even if it makes you uncomfortable, you have to put the team first. And if the team needs to be yelled at, if your guys need to be held accountable, if you have to demand more from them, no matter how uncomfortable it makes you feel, if you're really about winning and you're really putting the team first, you're gonna swallow your pride, you're gonna suck it up, and you're gonna fucking get it done. So I think that's very, very, very important. And again, that's been the focus for this week. And the last thing I want to touch on is just as if you're a coach listening to this, or if you're a player listening to this who wants to be a better leader, like find something tangible. Don't try and hang on to these vague ideas of, hey, let me be a better leader. We need more leadership. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Give me something very specific that I can do that will make me a better leader. Well, make yourself uncomfortable every single day in practice. Push your guys past their limits. And of course, for you to be able to push guys past your limits, you have to embody that yourself. You better be working at the highest level on the team before you demand someone else to. Right, but once you're working at that level every day consistently, and you can be counted on as this consistent guy that shows up and gives great effort and great energy every single day. Once that reputation is established, you've earned the right to hold everyone else to that standard and bring them along with you. So that's my thought for the day on leadership. We gotta go get this win. Playing Gonzaga's the number 13 team in the country, coming to our place. They beat us last year. We're coming off a tough loss against the number 4 team in the country. Definitely, 2 challenging weeks back to back. But we get this game, and it's a huge win for our program and puts us back on the map and gets us going in the right direction. We got a bye week next week, so we got to win this game. It starts with our leadership. It starts with our seniors. Those are our playmakers. Those are our ballers, and I'm hoping to see great things tonight. So that's all I got. This is Coach Talk, episode 51. It's your boy, Coach Lieb, signing out. Peace.